Hey everyone, it's Rob Folia and Jessica Klein with Folia Properties here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're coming to you today for a rare midweek real estate show. Just because of holidays and schedules and all that, we wanted to just come to you all with a great message about planning ahead for 2021. And before we even get into that, do hope everybody's staying safe and having a great holiday season and getting to spend time with your loved ones. But we ready to jump in, Jessica, and get started?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Again, as mentioned, the title of this one is all about planning ahead for your 2021 move. And and a big part of this is just because I know that, and I think Jessica knows as well that there are a lot of planners out there, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to make sure that Jessica's raising her hand because she knows she's one. My wife's a big planner as well, and there's nothing wrong at all with getting your ducks in a row for a successful move in 2021. And we want to encourage y'all to reach out to us with any questions or how, basically to arrange the details for you and just kind of help put those puzzle pieces together for you. But let's look at some data, some facts, and kind of help tee you up for a successful 2021 move. What we're looking at here on the screen, you can see this line graph. This is the new listings that hit the market in our entire multiple listing service, going back about 5 or 6 years now. This is a monthly trend line, so you can see how it's that bell-shaped curve. Because typically less homes hit the market this time of year. In fact, I would wager just about the bottom of every single one of these is going to be December. That's normal. Um, the reason we wanted to share this is not so much to talk about December and how there are less homes for sale now than there will be later on in January, February, March, but really to show how traditionally how the amount of homes for sale jump up in the springtime. In fact, just taking a random year here, 2018, right in the middle, you can see it just rises significantly month after month all the way through May. And there might be little dips here or there. In like 2019, it dipped a little bit from January into February, where it was pretty flat here from January to February into 2017. Historically, though, it's a pretty steady rise for the first half of the year in terms of the amount of homes for sale. Is this making sense so far, Jessica?
Yeah, and I mean, definitely the exception would be the beginning of this year where you see those two big jagged jumps. Although, even looking at those, we're still looking at an increase for the first half of the year. And like you said, in previous years, almost without exception, it's a pretty quick rise once you hit the first of the year, straight up.
Absolutely. And just something for everybody to keep in mind. Obviously, it's 2020, and what was happening in March of 2020, shutdowns, COVID, everything, was starting. And so because of that, there was that fear, that unknown. People didn't know what to expect this year. Even thinking back a little before COVID and everything, or before the shutdowns, I should say, back in February. If I'm remembering correct, and I'm not the biggest stock market guy, but I think there was some market volatility as well that was happening at the beginning of the year. A lot of unknowns, which I think was causing some of this drop in February. COVID was probably a huge part of this drop in April as well, and so I would almost say from a typical trend line, probably throw out 2020 from typical, because even if you go back and look at the max, you can see how there might be a little jagged month here or there. However, for the most part, it's very much a typical bell-shaped curve. Every single year is what we see. And the reason why we wanted to share this is I can't tell you how many times I've heard from people that they want to make a move and they think springtime. They think, they want to wait till the buttercups are blooming outside and that it's pretty out. Well, I'm looking out my window right now on December 29th. There's blue skies and there's still green grass. And, it's nice out right now. People are still buying is my point. And what I found is that the sweet spot can be, if you can see my mouse, usually it's beginning of the year, where before it kind of almost to get ahead of the typical trend line and beat some of these new homes to the punch, right?
Yeah, so I think the important thing to note here is, I mean, again, if we look at these graphs, most people are listing in spring. And I think in a lot of other areas of our lives, we're aiming to do exactly what other people are doing because there must be a reason they're waiting until then, right? And when it comes to selling a home and then even buying one, really, you probably don't want to be listing exactly when everybody else does. It's best to be on the market when there are fewer homes because it's a competition. You're trying to appeal to the same buyers. And I think that's the part that's most important, and that's often lost when people are trying to wait for the flowers and, you know, make their house look pretty and all these things. Yeah, it's more important to get your timing right so that you can sell your home for more in less time.
I love that you said that. In fact, let's take a look at that second part of what you said in terms of the less time. This is kind of a historic trend line for days on the market. So how long it's taking a home to sell. And you can see, and again, I'd probably say throw out 2020 for the most part with this year.
Yeah.
It's just been such a strange year with, and this kind of abnormal trend lines of what we've seen. Um, Looking back though, even like just look at 2019, or here we'll do 2019 in a second. Look at 2018. So the highest, you know, basically until the end of the year, the highest, the most amount of time it was taking, you know, the median days on the market, to start that sentence over, the median days on the market was the highest in January at 48 days. It dropped significantly into the springtime. You know, it's down in May, it's down to 36 days. It's taking up the median time to go under contract. And then you can see it rises again toward the end of the year. The reason why it's important to bring this up is that some of these homes that are listed in April or May, they're behind the curve at this point. They're pending in June or July, and it's taking time to sell. Whereas right here, if you hit the market, say in February, you're catching the trend line in momentum, and it allows you to be successful with it. The other thing I think that's important to bring up about this line, this trend line, and in fact, let's go back to the max, and you can see exactly where I'm coming from with this, is that when the market shifted almost 10 years ago now and became a more balanced, then eventually a seller's market, you can see how the time on the market dwindled. At its peak in February of 2011, it was at 90 days on the market. And then by, you know, at the lowest, 35 days in 2017. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that you can see in 2019, and I'll come back to the close up here of the last 3 years. You can see in 2019 where it started as 53 days on the market, it dropped down to 39. But then by the end of 2019, December, it was at 69 days on the market. It was rising significantly in 2019. And I for one think if it weren't for COVID and the fact that we had less new listings hit the market than what we expected last year, this trend line probably would have continued, and we would have seen it go back into a balanced market, which is what we've talked a lot about in these videos before, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you know, while we're on the subject of days on market, that's something to take into account when planning ahead too. I mean, a lot of people, you know, they're thinking, well, I want to sell my home in April. Well, does that mean that you want to put your house on the market in April, or does that mean you want to be in your new home in April? And is that the 1st of April or the last of April? You know, there is a little bit of lead up in preparing your home for sale, getting the photos done, getting everything, you know, up and on the market, having buyers, you know, giving buyers time to see it, and then actually going through the closing process, which could be anywhere from, you know, 2 to 60 days, depending on the terms of the contract. So I think it's just important to make those decisions now and to consider the overall plan and not just, you know, I want to sell in April.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that too, because back on the subject of what we're talking about, and that's planning ahead for next year. You're 100% right, Jessica, that ultimately, just to jump back to this, the new listings, 'cause I think this is probably what's most important for so many people, whether they're buying or selling and buying at the same time, that if you know your target date, or even if you just want to be in your new home by the summertime, well, you know, if you want to be in there to enjoy your home in the summer, Jessica, you're absolutely right. Probably the last day, if you want to actually enjoy the home in the summertime, you want to close, is probably going to be sometime in May. That way you can move in, you can unpack, and you can be in your home for the summer by the time summer starts. And if
Yep.
that's the case, then, you know, if you have a home to sell and you're buying, then, you know, you've got to start reverse engineering things and looking back, you know, or, you know, working backward, I guess you could say. But if you want to be in your home by then, technically closed on Memorial Day, so you can be in and unpack and by June 1st, well, you really have to have your home on the market, I'd say in March.
Yeah,
You
I was going to
know,
say early to mid March would be kind of the ideal time frame for that.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And so, a long story short, I hope we gave y'all some good information to think about here in terms of how the amount of new homes for sale tends to rise, you know, pretty significantly the first few months of the year. And it's important to beat people to the punch. I think if you can list within the first 60 days of the year, that's how you do that. That's how you beat people to the punch. How you get the best buyers. How you have the pick of the litter, so to speak, allows you to really just again be in a good spot. And if we can help you customize your plan, so that way in 2021 you're in a good spot and get into that home by the summertime or whatever your goals might look like. Comment, reach out to us and let's talk. You can call me 615-591-5665. You can text as well. Email us info at folia, Foglia properties.com, or you can comment on these videos. We're happy to help. Speaking of comments, are there any on the live feed, Jessica?
We have no comments at this time. We've got a couple likes coming in, but we'll keep an eye on it for, today and going forward.
Absolutely. So absolutely. If y'all have any questions, give us a shout. And again, we're here to help you put your plan in place into 2021. And so even if it's just not sure if you want to make a move and you just want some general information and statistics, call us. That's what we're here to help with and help you give you the good information to make the great decisions for your family. So I guess we can probably cut it off here though, but if y'all need anything, give us a shout.
Yeah. Thanks and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. See ya.